A tale of discovery. In the heart of a small American town, a seemingly ordinary family began to unravel a complex mystery that would change their lives forever. Clara, a young woman with an adventurous spirit, had always felt a disconnect from her family's past. Raised by her loving mother, Evelyn, Clara often wondered about the identity of her father, a man she had never known. One fateful afternoon, while cleaning the attic of their historic home, Clara stumbled upon an old, dusty portrait. The painting depicted a handsome man with striking features, standing tall in an elegant suit. His eyes filled with an enigmatic expression. Clara felt an inexplicable connection to him, something that tugged at her heartstrings. "Who is he, Mum?" Clara asked, her voice filled with curiosity. Evelyn's face turned pale as memories flooded back. "That's your father," she replied softly, her eyes glistening with unspoken sorrow. "I never wanted you to be burdened by our story, but I realize now that it's time to tell you the truth." As the evening sun cast long shadows across the room, Evelyn recounted her whirlwind romance with James, a charming man with dreams too big for their small town. Their love was intense but tumultuous, leading to a heart-wrenching decision that left Evelyn alone and carrying the weight of their child. Clara's curiosity grew as her mother shared the bittersweet memories of love, loss, and sacrifice. Determined to learn more about her father's life, Clara embarked on a journey that took her to the very places James had lived and loved. She visited his childhood home, talked to old friends, and pieced together the fragments of his story like a puzzle. With each discovery, Clara felt more connected to her roots. She learned about James's achievements, his dreams of becoming an artist, his fiery spirit that inspired many, and his eventual downfall caused by tragedy and despair. The more she uncovered, the more she realized that she shared not only his physical traits but also his passion for life. Back home, Clara and Evelyn sat together, the weight of secrets now lifted. They decided to honor James's memory by creating a community art project that would inspire other young artists in their town. Through this endeavor, Clara found a way to connect her father's legacy to her own life, weaving the story of their past into a beautiful future. As the project unfolded, it bridged gaps between generations, bringing the community together. Families shared their own stories, connecting in ways they never thought possible, creating a legacy of love and understanding. In the end, Clara learned that while her father's absence had shaped her life, the love he left behind could still illuminate their path forward. This journey through time and memory transformed not only Clara but the entire community, proving that even the most tangled stories could lead to healing and hope. And so, in that small American town, the echoes of a father's dreams intertwined with the aspirations of a daughter, creating a rich tapestry of life, love, and resilience. A tale of discovery, the legacy of James Morgan. In the quaint town of Maplewood, life moved at a gentle pace. The streets were lined with maple trees, and the aroma of fresh baked pies wafted through the air every Sunday afternoon. Clara Morgan, a vibrant 20-something, often found herself gazing beyond the familiar landscapes of her hometown, yearning for something more, something she couldn't quite put her finger on. Raised by her diligent mother, Evelyn, Clara had thrived in a world that felt both warm and suffocating, where questions about her father lingered like shadows in the corners of her mind. One crisp autumn day, while the leaves crunched beneath her feet, Clara felt a pull towards the attic, a space she had avoided for years. Dust motes danced in the sunlight as she rummaged through the forgotten relics of the past. Amidst the cobwebs and old boxes, she discovered a hidden compartment containing a beautifully framed portrait. The man in the painting was strikingly handsome, with deep-set eyes that seemed to reflect 1,000 emotions. Clara felt an unfamiliar connection, a whisper from the past that beckoned her closer. "Mom, who is this?" Clara shouted, anticipation building in her chest. Evelyn's face turned ashen, and her hands trembled slightly as she ventured upstairs. "That's James," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "Your father." Clara's heart raced. She had heard the name before but never anything substantial. "Why didn't you tell me?" she implored, her eyes wide with curiosity. As the evening faded into shadows, Evelyn, eyes glimmering with unshed tears, began to narrate a story that had long remained buried. She spoke of a young love that had ignited like wildfire in their small town, a romance filled with laughter and dreams but eventually marred by hardship. James, with his artistic temperament, had always sought something greater than life could offer in Maplewood. His aspirations to become an artist clashed with the realities of adulthood, leading to choices that left a lasting impact on their lives. Clara listened intently as her mother recounted how she and James had faced societal pressures and personal struggles. The decision to keep James in the shadows of their lives, though painful, had been driven by a desire to protect Clara from heartache. Yet, as Evelyn recounted each detail, Clara felt the weight of curiosity press down on her, compelling her to seek the truth beyond their home. Determined to find her father's story, Clara embarked on a journey that took her beyond Maplewood. She traveled to the city where James had spent his formative years, hoping to uncover layers of his life that were previously unknown to her. At each new site, Clara felt echoes of James resonate within her. Visiting his childhood home, she marveled at the worn-out steps he had climbed as a boy, envisioning his dreams taking flight in a city that seemed to pulse with energy and possibility. In a small coffee shop just down the lane, she met old friends of James who recounted tales filled with laughter but also laced with sorrow. They described his passion for art and creativity, his compassionate spirit, and the tragic events that led to his downfall, a battle with addiction and a series of unfortunate choices that ultimately drove him away from his family. Armed with these fragmented stories, Clara returned home, her heart racing with a sense of purpose. The connection she felt to her father was now undeniable, fueling a fire within her to honor his memory. She and Evelyn spent long nights going through old letters and photographs, piecing together a rich tapestry of memories. They laughed at old jokes shared between James and Evelyn and cried for the dreams unfulfilled. As they worked, Clara and Evelyn forged a bond deeper than ever before, their love intricately woven with the threads of James's existence. They decided to create a community art project dedicated to James, aimed at inspiring young artists who grappled with their own dreams and difficulties. This project would not only celebrate James's legacy but also transform the town, culminating in a show that would showcase the talents of aspiring artists from Maplewood. The preparations for the project became the heartbeat of the community. Clara reached out to schools, local artists, and anyone who had a story to share. Workshops were conducted, allowing young talents to express their journeys through art. Drawings, paintings, sculptures, and performances emerged, each piece telling a story of struggle and resilience, much like that of James Morgan. As the event day approached, excitement filled the air. Clara and Evelyn worked tirelessly, pouring their hearts into every detail, ensuring that this celebration would echo their stories, one of love, loss, and hope. On the day of the showcase, the community gathered under the soft glow of fairy lights strung between trees in the town square. Clara stood at the center, her heart pounding not just with anxiety but with pride. As the evening unfolded, each piece exhibited became a vessel through which artists shared their own tales, their struggles intertwining with that of James, creating a collective narrative of overcoming adversity. Evelyn watched, tears of joy streaming down her cheeks, as the next generation found healing in art, to a legacy that now extended far beyond the life of one man. Clara felt an overwhelming sense of fulfillment through this project. She had not only found her father's spirit but had also unearthed a strong connection to her community. As the sun set and the stars twinkled overhead, Clara stood beside her mother. The air buzzed with voices sharing stories of their personal journeys, creating a newfound sense of belonging and understanding. "I finally feel like I know him, Mom," Clara said, her voice thick with emotion. "He might not have been here, but his dreams live on through us." Evelyn nodded, a weight lifted from her heart as they embraced. In that moment, they understood that while James had been gone for far too long, his legacy had blossomed into something beautiful, a community united by shared experiences, and a daughter who had finally discovered her roots. Months after the art showcase, The ripples of their project continued to resonate in Maplewood. Inspired by the shared stories and newfound camaraderie, residents began organizing regular art events, transforming the small town into a vibrant hub for creativity. Clara found herself coaching young artists, guiding them in finding their voices and expressing their emotions through art, just as her father once dreamt of doing. As news of their community project spread, people from neighboring towns started visiting Maplewood, eager to witness how a simple story could mobilize a community. Clara embraced these interactions, eager to welcome those who sought inspiration and connection. The townsfolk were no longer just neighbors. They were collaborators navigating the complexities of life together. With each passing day, Clara felt more at home within her own life. She started painting her own pieces, exploring themes of identity and belonging. Her work began gaining attention, allowing her to channel her experiences with her father into art. She infused her creations with the lessons she had learned: resilience in adversity, the importance of connection, and the beauty of embracing one's roots. Evelyn, too, found solace through the project. She rekindled her own passion for art, often collaborating with Clara on community murals that brightened the faces of local businesses. Each stroke of paint became a tribute not just to James, but to the love that had endured despite the heartache. As years went by, Clara and Evelyn continued to celebrate James's memory, not as a ghost of the past but as a guiding star steering them toward a future filled with promise. They created an annual festival in his honor, inviting speakers who shared their stories of struggle and triumph, showcasing emerging artists from all walks of life. The festival became a cherished tradition, drawing people who once felt isolated and alone. It fostered a spirit of openness, allowing individuals to share their experiences and heal together. Clara stood at the forefront, dutifully crafting an environment where the art of storytelling flourished, echoing the narrative of resilience her father had embodied. One evening, under a canopy of twinkling stars, Clara found herself reflecting on her journey. She held a painting of her father, now displayed at the community center, a portrait that told not just of his struggles but of the love that had surrounded him. Around her, laughter, music, and art mingled seamlessly, a testament to the connection forged through shared experiences. Evelyn joined her, noticing the warmth in Clara's eyes. "He would be so proud," she said, linking her arm through Clara's. "Absolutely," Clara sighed, a smile blooming on her face. "He is here with us, in every story, every piece of art. We've turned our pain into something beautiful." And in that moment, surrounded by the community they had cherished and nurtured, they understood that the journey was not just about uncovering the past. It was about transforming it, creating a new narrative that honored their roots while paving the way for future generations. Together, they had woven a story of love, hope, and unyielding strength, a legacy that would inspire many to come. At the end,